What up, Harrison Graham here with another mailbag video for you guys. Hashtag Chiefs Super Chat. Get those questions in, draft, free agency, trades, whatever you got, throw it my way here on today's show. We got Ruthless Monk kicking things off here. Would you be open to trading for Vikings defensive end Danielle Hunter, or is he too expensive? Danielle Hunter is a very good player. We've talked about him before. I think he'd be probably this team's top edge rusher. You pair him with Karlaftis, and then Charles Menahue becomes more of like a fifth defensive lineman that can rotate in at edge and three tech. I'd be open to it. I don't know how much it would cost in draft capital, maybe like a second round pick, but I do think the Chiefs could absorb his salary. Mr. Anderson with the super chat, shout out to you. Do you think Mahomes might get annoyed by Veach going cheap, considering Mahomes took a team-friendly deal to free up money? How long before Mahomes gets tired of playing hero ball and wants more help? I don't think Mahomes has that attitude at all. I mean, he's playing with the greatest tight end in NFL history. Brett Veach has not been cheap on the offensive line, especially since the Super Bowl. I mean, you think about the contracts Brett Veach has handed out since the Super Bowl, and just the moves, too. He trades for Orlando Brown, who was here for 2 years. He tried to pay him, and Brown just wouldn't take the deal last year. He gave Joe Thuney $80 million. He drafted Creed Humphrey early in the draft. He's going to pay him almost certainly. He just gave Jawan Taylor $80 million. So I don't think he's gone cheap. Like, yeah, you could say trading Tyreek Hill and going cheap at receiver recently, but you traded for Kadarius Toney in the middle of the year to get another weapon. Like, I think the Chiefs have done a lot to build around Patrick. He drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the first round because that was a player Mahomes was interested in. So I don't think that narrative is real at all. In fact, I haven't really heard that narrative until just now. E from Entourage, great show. Average character. Actually, I like E. He's solid. He's better than Vince. Listen, before we answer this question, Vince in Entourage, I've said this a million times with friends, it's the only great TV show that the main character is like the worst character out of the main characters. Who's better? Who's worse than Vince out of the main characters? Ari, way better. Johnny Drama, not even close. E, he's not great, but he's better than Vince. Turtle, way better. It's just facts. All right, anyway, off my soapbox. He says, any Chiefs trade targets you'd really want if the number 31 pick had to be included? I would trade 31 for Ayuk, Brandon Ayuk. I would. Ayuk went like in the 20s. I mean, you'd be paying less than where he was drafted, and he's produced. So, yeah, I would trade 31 for Ayuk. Absolutely. I would certainly consider doing that. Now, which side of the football should Kansas City address with that number 31 pick? Type O for offense or D for defense. Let me know in the comment section below. Vote on the live poll if you're watching live. Pin comment on today's video, so if you get hit with the YouTube ad break, O for offense or D for defense. Shad Jameson, who is going to be the odd man out in the linebacker rotation? Nick Bolton, Willie Gay, Leo Chenal, or Drew Tranquill? Out of that, I'd have to go Chenal. Now, I think they're probably going to use Chenal in like blitz packages because he did a lot of that at Wisconsin. But they drafted Tranquill to play. There's no doubt about it. Or they signed him to play. There's no doubt about it. That's why I've kind of speculated, could they trade Willie Gay, who's in the last year of his rookie deal? I wouldn't rule that out. But I would rank the linebacker room like this right now. Bolton, Gay, Tranquill, but Gay and Tranquill, that's very close, 2 and 3, and then Chenal at 4. Ice, do you think we will re-sign Dunlap? If you can get Carlos Dunlap at a vet minimum deal or just slightly beyond that pay scale, I would absolutely bring him back. He had 4 sacks last year. I think as a rotation vet, he knows his role. 1 year, $3 million to bring back Carlos Dunlap, give you 4 or 5 sacks. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Harvey Dent, trade Jones for 2 ones and free up some cap space and rebuild that defensive front. What's your thoughts, Harrison? Look, let me make this clear. I would not trade Chris Jones. I will say this, though. I would have said the same thing about Tyreek Hill last year. I said it when it happened, that it was a mistake. It was not a mistake. I was proven wrong. Here are the reasons I wouldn't completely dismiss this idea. Chris Jones is 29 years old. Chris Jones is going to want probably $25 million per year. You've got a lot of big contracts on your books. if you could actually get 2 first-round picks, do you at least answer the phone? I do think you answer the phone. Am I looking to trade Chris Jones? No, but if a team gives me an insane offer, would I be open to it? Great general managers are open to everything. Doesn't mean you accept that offer, but yeah, I mean, I would not completely rule it out. I don't think it'll happen. Jones wants to be here for his entire career. I want that to be the case, but we saw it with Tyreek Hill. I think once that happened, that proved that anything could happen. Harvey followed up, said, just want to shout you out for being the MVP on this channel. Thanks for all you do. Appreciate that, Harvey. Shout out to the real ones like Harvey and everybody else here at the Chiefs Report. That includes all of our subscribers. If you want to join the movement, if you want to become a real one, hit that sub button. It's 100% free. We're trying to get to 42,000 subscribers before the NFL draft. Appreciate all the support so far. Let's continue to grow this and shoot for the moon. From Nick, what would you think about a Corey Davis trade? I think he could be interesting with Mahomes. I like Davis. I think he makes over $10 million. I'd almost wonder to see if he would get cut first. There's been some chatter around that. But I like Corey Davis. He's a good player. I think he would fit well here. Hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. We got LBK saying, where would you think we need the most help at? I think wide receiver, defensive line. Those are 2 positions I'm looking at. Dale Webb Jr., what are the chances that Frank Clark comes back on a team-friendly deal? Can't rule it out. Longer this goes, better chances it is. In that scenario, I think it would be a very cheap contract, but listen, if the market doesn't formulate for Clark, then you can't rule out a reunion. Braden Perez, will D-Hop get cut, and do the Chiefs have a better chance of getting him or trading, or if he's cut? Well, they have a better chance if they trade for him because that's completely in their control. If they tried to sign him after getting cut, they'll have to compete with other teams because if he gets cut, about a dozen teams are going to try to sign him pretty quickly. So you can count on that. So if they want to guarantee getting him, trading him is really the only way to do that. But you could also get him for cheaper and for not sending a draft pick if you do sign him. Mr. Anderson with another super chat. Shout out to you. Is the Chiefs linebacker core a top 3 to 5 in the league? Could be, man. Nick Bolton's a stud. He was so good in the Super Bowl. Willie Gay, when he's dialed in, he's really good. Great in coverage. Tranquil's a stud player. I've always liked him, watching him with the Chargers. You got him on board. I think Chanel had moments last year. I also am a big fan of I'm completely banking on his name all of a sudden. He's number 47. That's a damn shame. When he's rotated in, he's done some good things. But the Chiefs have some good players, man. They really, really do. It's Darius something. Why am I drawing a blank here? This is going to kill me. Chiefs roster. Give me a second here, guys. Darius Harris. Thank you, producer Sam. Darius Harris is a good player, too. I mean, you got 5 good backers. It's a solid group. Will the Chiefs win back-to-back Super Bowls? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Is another Lombardi trophy coming to Kansas City? I hope so. Let me know what you guys think. Y for yes, N for no. Will the Chiefs get back to the Super Bowl and win it? Ruthless Monk, we got a couple more here. Would you draft A.T. Perry or Michael Wilson? I'd rather have Perry. I think his ceiling's higher, 6'5", runs pretty well, good speed, can go track the football. Michael Wilson's kind of a deep sleeper in this draft, the receiver out of Stanford, but I would lean A.T. Perry. Jared Neal, maybe T. Higgins should have drafted him instead of Edwards-Helaire. Listen, all GMs miss. That's the reality. T. Higgins is kind of in the Stephon Diggs category of even if they trade him, which is unlikely, the chances of them trading him to the Chiefs are slim to none, like almost no chance. So, yeah, I could mention him in wide receiver trade ideas, but Cincinnati's not giving the Chiefs another big-time weapon. Gator, do we draft an offensive tackle in the first round if we pick up a receiver before then? I think it's possible. I don't think it's guaranteed. You could go defense. The Chiefs can be flexible. They're in such good shape roster-wise. They can go in a few different areas. But, yeah, I would not dismiss the possibility. Logan Owens, do you think we possibly could still get Derrick Henry? mean, it's not you could. Do I think the Chiefs will? No. I think Pacheco has proven he could be a starter. I still think Jarrett McKinnon ends up back here unless he signs elsewhere. Like until that happens, I'm gonna assume he's coming back here because we saw him re-sign with the Chiefs late last offseason. I think that could happen again. So I don't think Derrick Henry comes here. Agent Naha, do you think Patrick Mahomes will play out his career in Kansas City? I do. You can never say never. We saw Tom Brady leave New England. So, if he's 40, 41 and wants to play another year or two and the Chiefs are ready to move on by then, maybe. But he'll always be a Chief. Even in that slim scenario where that happens, like, this is always going to be his squad. I don't see him playing elsewhere. Can't rule it out. We've seen legends do it before, but I would put it at about 90% chance. ZEZ with the super chat, and listen, ZEZ, that's you might have won the spelling bee at my school when I was growing up. Felix Edidike Uzoma or Aditamiwa Adibawari, two elite names, two really good players. I think Adibawari's ceiling is higher. I think Edidike Uzoma's floor is higher. So I think he's the safer pick. I think Adibawari has more flexibility, can kick inside, play defensive tackle. He's a better athlete, but Edidike Uzama is more polished right now. So, it's kind of pick your flavor, right? Do you want to guarantee yourself a B or do you want to go for the A+? It's your call. Tony Fuentes, look, I like Mahomes, but I do think the main reason Tyreek Hill, Tyrann Mathieu was because Patrick takes all the money, in other words, gets paid. The most frankly, I love how this team has turned out. Are you saying why those guys left? I actually disagree, Tony. Mahomes' contract is very team-friendly. Him doing a 10, 12-year deal compared to these other QBs who do 4 and 5 years and then get paid again, the cap keeps going up. So that's benefiting the Chiefs greatly. I think people get caught up on the $500 million, but it's actually very team-friendly for how good Mahomes is. Having that many years on it, too, allows the Chiefs to restructure his contract year in and year out if they want to. So, I actually got to dispel that point. Chad Jameson, how would you feel if Michael Dana is one of the Chiefs' starting defensive ends? I'd be okay with it. I don't think that's the case. I think Amenahue and Karlaftis would be your starters right now. Maybe not, but they paid Amenahue $10 million per year, and Karlaftis was a starter by the end of last year. So I think Dana has proven he's good in that rotation role. Do you want to give him a bigger role? I don't know. I would keep him in that rotation role.